The home loan process is not quite as simple as going to the grocery store and just buying some groceries, or like my first job when I sold basketball tickets for the LA Clippers. All I needed to do was get the credit card number, plug it into the machine, and hand somebody their tickets or mail them their tickets. And when you're purchasing a home, there's just a much longer process. You don't just put down a credit card and get a house. You actually have to go through what we call the escrow period. And so whether it's a refinance or a purchase, you're still going through this escrow period. Typically, we talk about it as 30 days. Our average right now from when we receive a client's docs and get them submitted to a lender to close is actually 14.3 days. But you've got to put some time on the front end to kind of get things set up for the client to get us all the documents and all that. So that 30-day escrow is a very typical time frame for both a refinance and a purchase. But the difficulty is always explaining like what is happening during this period, or how do I know where I am in that 30 days, or what is taking so long. And what we've done to try to make that simpler is we've created mile markers, or basically just named each step of the process. And then during our weekly updates, we sort of let you know, hey, we completed these milestones and we still have these ones left to do. And so at the beginning of the process, you're going to see like, oh, very few things are complete and there's a lot left to do. And by the end of the process, you're like, oh, there's only one or two things left here. So we're right about at the end. And so what I want to do here real quick is just walk you through our mile markers so that you have a better understanding of what's happening during the process and what each step is. And the mile marker thing I do think is a little bit funny. We don't typically use mile markers anymore. We just do what Google Maps or Apple Maps tells us to do. Mile markers are along the side of the road saying you're this far along, and I can only imagine how useful that would be if you didn't have Google Maps telling you where to go. Oh, I'm this far on this freeway. I need to go this much further to get to the exit ramp that I need to take. So same kind of thing here. Each one of these is just giving you an idea of, oh, I'm this far into the process. So we always start with the initial consultation. And really during that step, it's the first time we talk. It's a little bit of a get to know you. We're happy to answer any questions you kind of want to know up front. And we're trying to get some questions answered from you that are really centered around where you're at, what you're looking to do, and long-term goals. In between this initial consultation and what we call the decision meeting, there's two things that we're doing. One, we're going to put together some options for you. We're going to do a spreadsheet that shows you your current situation against the new options. And then we're also going to separately send you access to our secure portal that lets you fill out an application and upload all your documents. Then at this decision meeting, it's really the second time that we talk. We call it the decision meeting is because what we want to come away with is a decision. We want you to kind of know, hey, this is the option that I want to move forward with. And then we're going to walk you through that either, yes, you're approved to do this, or no, we really can't do this. Now, let me specify a little further. Typically on a refinance, we haven't collected all of your documents at this point, but on a purchase we have. So the refinance, typically someone wants to make sure that doing it makes sense before they go ahead and give you their documents. This can vary. We do decision meetings without and with having them, and sometimes you'll get a second one after that where, hey, okay, we went through your documents and we have these problems or these issues to deal with. But that decision meeting, we really want to, again, walk away knowing this is our plan of attack, this is the loan we're trying to do, and this is what the numbers look like. And it allows you as the client to hold us accountable that these are the numbers we talked about at the beginning. So when you get to the end, you can compare the end numbers versus those, and we try to make sure those always fall in your favor. On a purchase, you have a separate one here. Obviously with the refinance, you don't need to go find a house or anything, so we jump right into the process. But on a purchase, you've got to go find a house. So you take this other step with your real estate agent. You're going to go out there, look at a bunch of houses, find one to make an offer on. Once you actually have an offer accepted, we get that contract, and that really starts the process on the purchase side, which again, on the refinance side, you're just jumping in right away. You already own the house. We know what house we're doing the loan on. So we've received your contract or started the process. And the first thing that really has to be done is we put disclosures in front of you that you just have to sign. There are all kinds of legalese that's really just giving you an idea of, hey, this is what we plan to do, and some disclosures about the process itself. So once you've signed those, we submit all your documents with those signed disclosures to an underwriter someone separate who's going through your documents, puts together the whole file, and makes sure that you actually qualify for the loan. That person will say, yes, you qualify, we have a conditional approval, but here's the things we need to complete this process. So one of those things that they're going to say we need in many cases is an appraisal. Over the last few years, we do on some refinances get appraisal waivers where we no longer need the appraisal, but majority of transactions, an appraisal is required. So you're going to order the appraisal. We would take a credit card from you to do that, put it in, it goes into a random computer system that spits out a random appraiser, so it's not someone we handpicked and can tell them what they need to do. That appraiser then is going to get in contact with you or your buyer's agent to get pictures of the house and create a whole report. So once we receive that report, we move to getting that conditional approval received. So these three, this part of the process doesn't always go exactly in order. Sometimes we'll get this before we even get your credit card. So that approval that I talked about is that underwriter said, hey, we have an approval on this deal and here's the items that we need. One of them being the appraisal. There will be another list of items that we need. Some of them will be from third-party vendors. Hey, we need this from escrow. We need this from title. We need this from your insurance. We'll go out and take care of those items, and then we'll create a list for you of the items that we need from you. And so we kind of submit you that list. You're going to get us those items plus all the other third-party items in your appraisal, and then we submit for final approval. That same underwriter is going to go through your file, make sure we've covered all of the conditions, and at that point they give us a final approval, or in our world we like to call it a clear to close, that hey, you're all wrapped up and done. This is a done deal. From there, the next step that we have is the documents that you have to sign for the final go out to escrow. We let everybody know, hey, those have gone out. And then escrow sets up a signing with you. You guys sign those loan documents with a notary who verifies you are who you are. They come back to us, and then the last piece is that your loan actually funds. So the money actually goes out to escrow. If you're buying a house, typically you're sending in your down payment, the lender's sending in the money that's needed from them, and then you're able to purchase the home. On a refinance, just the lender is typically sending in money, and then they're paying off the old loan and starting the new loan. So hopefully this gave you a good idea of kind of the steps that happen along the way, so you know what you're getting yourself into in the loan process. We'd love to help you with your refinance or purchase. Please reach out to us to get the process started. Say, hey Ronnie, I watched your video and I'd love to do an initial consultation, and we'd love to talk to you, find out about where you're at, what you're looking to do, and long-term goals.